Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Chris. Together we're the Gen X couple.
Hey guys.
Take one. Hello, everyone.
I know you guys are invested because you heard last week's episode when I got a text from the library saying I had 48 hours to pick up my book, and I was excited because I thought it might have been mine that I've been waiting for since August. It wasn't.
It was mine.
It was one of Chris's. I'm still waiting for my book. It's a cozy mystery series, and it's by Lucy Burdett, and it's called the Key West Food Critic series, and it's really good. If you guys are looking for book recommendations, I do recommend it. After you read my books, of course. I have 2 books out, The Deadly Garden and The Deadly Gala. Shameless plug. I've got a new series coming out in the spring too, but I do read and I do recommend that series. And there's like 15 books in the series or something, so it'll keep you busy for a while. And if you live near me, they're all available through the sales network. So there's my book recommendation. But anyway, I knew you guys were invested in our library situation, so I wanted to update everyone for all 2 of you that listen. But anyway, Chris and I were at a musical not too long ago, and Chris brought up something that he and I have both been wondering for many years.
That's right. As we watched the conductor lead the orchestra, I asked Robin what the conductor is actually there for. For someone who doesn't know what they're actually doing up there, it looks like they're just swatting away.
Bless you.
Sorry, I tried to hold that in.
I know. You should have seen it behind the scenes.
It looks like it just looks like a conductor is swatting away mosquitoes.
It does, actually.
So today we're going to answer that question and several more everyday mysteries of life. The stuff you never realize you need to know.
That's right. Today, we're tackling the big questions, or at least the weird ones you probably never thought about.
Yep, today we're gathering some of the best wait, why is that? Questions, and we're going to break them down from why seashells sound like the ocean.
She sells seashells by the seashore?
I know, good thing you didn't put that in. Why you can't tickle yourself. We're covering it all.
Yes. So, what does an orchestra conductor... You're rubbing off on me. It's going to be one of those episodes. But it is the 3rd one in a row we've recorded. You guys know how we do this. Anyway, so what does an orchestra conductor actually do? All right, so picture this. You're at a fancy concert. There's a giant orchestra playing this beautiful, dramatic music, and in front of them is a person in a tuxedo wildly waving a stick. Seems a little unnecessary, right? Yes. I mean, can't the musicians just follow the sheet music? Well, it turns out the conductor is actually doing a ton of important work. Their main job is to keep everyone in sync. When you've got 50 to 100 musicians playing at once, tiny timing differences can actually make the whole thing sound messy. So the conductor's baton, which is the little stick thingy that they wave, actually does help to keep everyone on the same beat. They also shape the music, deciding on when certain parts should be louder or softer or faster or slower. So think of them as a director of a movie. The actors, musicians, would know their lines, their notes, but without a director to guide emotions, pacing, and the dynamics, it wouldn't have the same impact.
So, next question. What does the percentages for milk mean?
I've always wondered.
Yeah, so you ever look at the milk aisle and thought, okay, what does 2% even mean? Well, it turns out it's all about fat content.
Mm-hmm.
Whole milk contains about 3.25% milk fat. When you're seeing 2% milk, it means 2% of the total weight of the milk is fat. So it's not 98% water and 2% milk, which, let's be honest, sounds awful.
It does.
It just means that there's less fat than whole milk. And skim milk, also known as fat-free milk, has about 0.1% fat. And if you're ever wondering why skim milk looks slightly blue, yep, that's a real thing. It's because moving that fat changes how the light reflects through it. Sounds weird, but it's science. And it's delicious.
It does sound weird. Milk is delicious, especially coffee milk. We've had this conversation in the past. We usually buy 1%, although the boys have been on a whole milk kick. And I know I gave it to them when they were babies, but I don't know. I don't like whole milk. I also don't like skim milk. I was raised on 1%. So if I happen to drink milk, which I don't drink that much because I've got kidney stones hanging out in my kidneys. Fun fact, not so fun. They've been there for many years though. So I don't drink a lot of milk because I'm not supposed to have the added calcium. But I actually do love milk. Like I would drink milk every day if I could because I love it. It's delicious.
Well, I have to have the
Lactate.
lactose free milk because I am
Yeah,
self-diagnosed.
thank you. I was going to say, please make sure you say that you're self-diagnosed because this has never been medically confirmed
It's confirmed.
that he's lactose intolerant.
ChatGPT confirmed it.
Oh, please, don't even get me started. Nothing on ChatGPT is even true. Stop with the ChatGPT. Anyway, why do seashells sound like the ocean? We've all done it. You're at the beach and you pick up a seashell, you put it to your ear, and suddenly you hear the ocean. But where's the water? This isn't some mystical magic, sadly, although that would be much cooler. What's happening is the seashell is acting like an echo chamber, trapping and amplifying the sounds around you. So the ocean you're hearing is actually the background noise in your environment. If you were in a totally silent room, you wouldn't hear anything inside the shell at all. It's kind of like a tiny portable sound machine, but one that plays ambient white noise instead of whale songs.
All right, so next question. Why do my fingers get wrinkly when I'm swimming? So if you ever spend too much time in the pool, you've seen the evidence, raisin fingers. But why does this happen? For a long time, scientists thought it was just your skin absorbing water and puffing up.
You said water.
No, I did.
Yeah, you totally did.
Turns out that's not the case. It's actually a biological trick designed to improve your grip in wet conditions. Your nervous system sends a signal to constrict blood vessels under your skin, causing wrinkles. Think of it like the treads of a tire. They help your fingers and toes grip wet surfaces better. So next time you see your pruny fingers, just know evolution is looking out for you.
Okay, I thought you were going to stumble on evolution for a second, but I'm glad you pulled that one out. Good save. Next question. Why can't we tickle ourselves? Try it. Go try it right now. Go ahead. Tickle yourself. Nothing, right?
I can't do it.
I know. So why does it work when someone else does it? Well, the reason is all in your brain. Stop, he's tickling me. Your cerebellum, which controls movement, can predict sensations when you're the one causing them. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, your cerebellum can predict sensations when you're the one causing them. Because of that, it cancels out the tickle response. But when someone else does it, your brain can't predict exactly what's coming, and boom, you're a laughing mess. And if you can tickle yourself, you might have superpowers, or at least an unpredictable cerebellum.
So next question, what is the most common blood type? The most common blood type in the world is O positive. That's me. And around 37 to 38% of the global population has this blood type, making it incredibly important for blood donations. Type O blood is called a universal donor because O negative can be given to almost anyone in an emergency. Blood types are determined by antigens on red blood cells.
Or in them.
The positive or negative designation comes from the Rh factor, which is another type of protein found on the cells. Understanding blood types is crucial for transfusions, as mismatched blood can cause dangerous immune reactions.
Yeah, I think your body will reject it if you don't get the correct blood type. There was something else. I was going to say that we give blood. We actually used to give blood a lot more, but Chris's body can't reproduce iron or absorb iron
Right. So we're
that
down
fast,
to...
so now we just do it a couple of times a year.
Yes.
We were doing it every 12 weeks, and then we found out by accident that we couldn't donate blood because they test you before you give blood, and he didn't have enough iron in his system. So then he went to the doctor, got it checked, was on iron pills. There's his whole medical history.
So I was giving too much, which seems
like it shouldn't be a thing because they need blood, and we always get thank yous, and they love it when we go in and give blood. But I mean, I could probably give blood more often, but I don't want to go by myself. So, so anyway, the next question is, why are school buses yellow? Think about it. Taxis are yellow, school buses are yellow, but why not bright green or purple? The answer comes down to visibility. Yellow is the most noticeable color in peripheral vision, even more so than red. Back in 1939, researchers determined that yellow with black lettering was the easiest to see in dim lighting, fog, and bad weather. So school buses got their signature color, and it's all been the standard ever since. Plus, let's be honest, a hot pink school bus would be a lot, right?
It would be.
They have those buses up in New Hampshire where we go, and they're school buses, but they're painted blue. And those people drive like animals. And I'm talking about the shuttles for Loon Mountain, specifically in Lincoln and North Woodstock, New Hampshire. They have blue, they're like school buses, and they're shuttles for people who want to go to the mountain because you can't get parking because their parking situation is terrible. And so they have shuttle buses so you can get to the mountain from different resorts and hotels in the area. And those bus drivers, we've almost gotten killed several times, literally killed, because they do not care and they will cut you off and they will ram right into you if need be because they just have to get where they're going. And I think maybe if they were yellow buses, they'd be more visible and easier for us to see, but they're blue and they creep right up on you.
Maybe it's because of all the snow.
Maybe.
They're blue.
Maybe. I still think they should be yellow. And I have rage over those buses because we've gotten
all right.
almost hit several times. I could keep going on and on and on. If you're one of those bus drivers, knock it off and drive safely. You've almost killed us several times.
All right, next question. Why are there 13 in a baker's dozen? You buy a dozen eggs, you get 12. But if you buy a dozen bagels from a bakery, you might end up with 13. What gives? Well, this tradition goes back to medieval England when bakers could be fined for selling underweight bread. To avoid getting in trouble, bakers started throwing in an extra roll to make sure customers got their full weight's worth. And thus the baker's dozen was born. More carbs for us and less legal trouble for the bakers.
Yeah, I'll take more bread. The answer is always more bread and carbs. The next question is, why do we always see the same face of the moon? The reason we always see the same face of the moon is due to a phenomenon called synchronous rotation. Did I say that right? Synchronous rotation.
Are you seriously asking me if you...
Yeah, I know. Right? I know. I think I am. Synchronous. I'm saying that right. Sure. Synchronous rotation.
Yes.
Because, yeah, the moon does rotate. I feel like we learned that in, 4th, 5th grade. But a lot of people don't think it rotates because we always see the same side of the moon. But, yeah, it does rotate. So, and that's because of synchronous rotation. So that means that the time it takes for the moon to complete one orbit around Earth is the same as the time it takes to rotate once on its axis. Millions of years ago, the gravitational pull between Earth and the moon gradually slowed the moon's rotation until it became tidally locked. Now, one side of the moon always faces us, while the other side, usually called the dark side of the moon, great Pink Floyd album, even though it gets as much sunlight, it still remains hidden from us. So, no, the moon isn't hiding secrets, but it is a cosmic coincidence that we only ever see one side.
So, next question. Why are some people left-handed? Well, it comes down to genetics and brain structure. Left-handedness is less common, appearing in about 10% of the population.
One of our children is a lefty.
Yes. Scientists believe it's a mix of genetic factors and environmental influences in the womb. Left-handed people tend to have a more developed right hemisphere of the brain, which controls creativity and spatial awareness.
Or spatial awareness.
Yes. There's also an evolutionary
I gotta text the kids with that one.
Being left-handed may offer advantages in combat or sports, where opponents who were used to facing right-handed individuals. However, since most tools and writing systems are designed for right-handers, left-handed people have historically had to adapt more.
All right, before I get into my next thing that I'm going to tell you about, which is our left-handed people also left-footed, I have several stories about lefties. First of all, when I took Krav Maga classes for years, and they made the lefties fight righty. So they weren't allowed to... If their left side was dominant, too bad. You had to fight like a righty. Because there were like two, and there were like dozens of us. So they always had to fight righty.
I don't understand.
Like jab, cross,
So you'll never...
They had to do the same thing as the righties. They couldn't be lefties.
So if you're in the street and you get attacked by an attacker, you have to hope they're not left-handed?
Well, no, it doesn't matter if you get attacked by an attacker because in Krav Maga you are more combative. Like you would take the lead anyway. They wouldn't stand a chance against somebody who knew Krav Maga because we would just take them out. But yeah, they had to still do the same things as the righties. Lefties don't count in Krav Maga. Also, my brother is a lefty, and it was a nightmare when we went out to eat. We always had to stop and like actually think about where we were going to sit because he bumped elbows with us, and it was kind of a pain. So, anyway, are left-handed people also left-footed? And the answer is not always. Some people have mixed dominance, meaning they use different sides for different activities. A person may write with their left hand but kick a ball with their right foot. This has become because limb dominance is controlled by a different part of the brain. The preference for hand, foot, eye, and even ear dominance can all be separate. And I didn't realize I had ear dominance, but I can barely hear out of either one. So I guess I don't even have a dominant ear.
All right, next question. So how do birds know where to migrate? Birds, and I can tell you right now, I am 100% have no bird DNA in me. Because birds have an incredible built-in GPS.
Can confirm.
And I get lost going to my backyard sometimes.
Yeah, I always joke with people that he can't find his way out of our driveway.
It's true.
It is true. I don't know how that happens.
Birds use Earth's magnetic field, the sun's position, and even star patterns to navigate.
Like our ancestors?
Yes. Some species, like pigeons, have iron-rich cells in their beaks that allow them to detect magnetic fields. Others rely on landmarks or the angle of a sunlight to stay on course. Some birds even inherit migration routes genetically, meaning they know where to go without being taught.
Yeah. And there you have it. Now you know why school buses are yellow, why you can't tickle yourself, and why bakers are basically the nicest people ever.
Well, we hope you had as much fun learning these random facts as we did. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves fun facts. And until next time, see you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile.